Chosen one, congratulations. It is done. You will never have to go through that again. Listen carefully, because this moment carries a weight that heaven itself recognizes, and if you let this pass without understanding it, you may miss the depth of what has just changed in your life. I am telling you plainly that the season that wounded you, stretched you, and tested the deepest parts of your spirit has finally come to its end. What you survived was not random pain or meaningless struggle, but a divine process that had a clear beginning and now has a clear conclusion. The words you hear now are not symbolic or poetic. They are a declaration from me that the chapter of suffering you carried has reached its final line, and the burden you held for so long will not return in the same way again. If you receive this with faith, comment, Amen. You walked through a valley that many people would have abandoned long before reaching the other side. There were days when the silence around you felt heavier than the problems themselves, and moments when it seemed like no one saw the quiet battles you fought inside your heart. Yet I saw every step you took and every tear that fell when no one else was watching. Nothing about your endurance went unnoticed in heaven. Even when you believed you were barely holding on, you were actually proving the strength of the spirit I placed inside you. Understand what it means when I say, it is done. This is not just the end of pain, but the completion of a test that shaped who you are becoming. The struggle that followed you for so long had a purpose that could only be fulfilled through time, patience, and your refusal to give up. Every delay, every disappointment, and every closed door formed a part of that process. What looked like chaos was actually careful preparation. Now that preparation has reached its completion. I know there were moments when you wondered if the hardship would ever stop repeating itself. You saw patterns that made you fear you were trapped in the same storm again and again. But what you were experiencing was not repetition, it was refinement. Each wave that came against you was weaker than the last because you were growing stronger with every challenge. The storm was not designed to destroy you. It was designed to reveal what could never be broken inside you. If these words reach your heart right now and you feel the shift that is taking place, take a brief moment to like the video so more people who are standing at the edge of their own breakthrough can receive the same encouragement and strength. There were nights when exhaustion covered your thoughts and the future looked uncertain. You carried questions that had no immediate answers and burdens that felt heavier than your strength. Still, you kept moving forward even when the path seemed invisible. That persistence is the very reason you stand at this moment now. You did not pass the test by being perfect. You passed it by refusing to surrender your faith in the middle of the darkness. Heaven has been watching the quiet decisions you made when no one else knew what you were facing. Each time you chose patience instead of anger, trust instead of fear, and hope instead of bitterness, something powerful was being built within you. These choices were shaping your spirit in ways that could not happen through comfort alone. The pressure that surrounded you was forming the strength you will carry into the next chapter of your life. Now, the reason I say you will never have to go through that again is because the lesson has already been learned. Growth always removes the need for certain battles to repeat. The person who began that journey is not the same person who has reached this moment now. Your understanding is deeper, your endurance is stronger, your connection to me is more rooted than before. Many people look at victory and imagine it arrives with noise and celebration. Yet the most powerful victories often arrive quietly, with a calm realization that something inside has permanently changed. That is what is happening in your life right now. The storm that once seemed endless has lost its authority over you. What once shook your peace will no longer hold the same power. There will still be challenges in life, but they will not carry the same weight that this season carried. What you faced was a specific assignment that required a specific kind of endurance. That assignment is now complete. The path in front of you will open in ways that once seemed impossible. Doors that refused to move before will begin to shift because the timing has finally aligned with the growth that has taken place inside you. You may not see every change immediately, but the shift has already begun in the unseen places where destiny is formed. I am arranging moments, connections, and opportunities that will slowly reveal the fruit of everything you endured. What once looked like loss will reveal hidden purpose. What once felt like delay will reveal perfect timing. The end of this chapter is also the doorway to a season that carries new peace and new strength. Hold this truth close to your heart as you move forward. You are not the same person who entered that valley, and that transformation is the reason the valley cannot hold you any longer. The endurance you carried has prepared you for blessings that require maturity, patience, and wisdom. Your spirit now carries all three. Let this realization settle into your soul today. The pain that tried to define your story has reached its final page. What stands in front of you now is not another cycle of the same struggle, but a new road that reflects the strength you have gained. What you endured was not punishment, it was preparation. The trials that surrounded you were shaping parts of your spirit that comfort alone could never reach. Patience was built inside you during moments of waiting. Wisdom grew during times when nothing seemed to make sense. And resilience formed every time you chose to rise again after disappointment tried to keep you down. There were days when you felt unseen and misunderstood. You carried burdens that few people knew how to understand. Some even doubted your journey because they could not see what was happening within you. But your story was never dependent on the approval of others. I saw every effort you made, even when it seemed small or unnoticed. Every quiet act of faith mattered more than you realized. During those difficult days, something sacred was happening beneath the surface of your life. The roots of your faith were growing deeper. Just as a tree strengthens its roots during harsh weather, your spirit was becoming more grounded with each challenge you faced. What once shook you easily can no longer move you in the same way. Strength that is built through experience becomes unshakable. If your heart feels the truth of these words settling inside you right now, comment 333. You may remember moments when you wondered if you had reached your limit. There were times when the road felt so long that you questioned whether relief would ever come. Yet every step you took during those moments carried quiet courage. Even when your strength felt small, you continued moving forward. That simple act of continuing was more powerful than you knew. Many people turn back before reaching the point where transformation happens. They leave the journey when the pressure becomes uncomfortable. But you stayed. Even when the path seemed confusing, you remained present. Even when progress looked invisible, you kept believing that something meaningful was happening beyond what your eyes could see. Now that season has completed its work in your life. The difficulties that once followed you will no longer control your direction. You have learned what those trials came to teach. Your heart now carries deeper understanding. Your spirit holds stronger peace, and your perspective has changed in ways that will guide you forward with wisdom. This new season will not begin with loud announcements or dramatic signs. Instead, it will reveal itself gradually. Peace will begin replacing the heaviness you once carried. Clarity will start appearing where confusion once lived. And small opportunities will begin opening in places where doors once remained closed. The growth inside you has prepared you for moments that once would have overwhelmed you. Situations that previously created fear will now meet a stronger and calmer version of yourself. You will respond differently because you have become different. Transformation always begins within before it becomes visible around you. You may also notice something surprising. The things that once caused you pain will lose their ability to disturb your peace. The memories will remain, but the weight attached to them will begin to fade. Healing has a quiet way of changing how the past feels inside your heart. There will also be people who begin noticing a new steadiness in your presence. They may not understand where it came from, but they will sense the calm strength you now carry. That peace will not come from easy circumstances. It will come from everything you survived and learned along the way. You were not meant to remain trapped in struggle. The challenges that shaped you had a specific purpose, and once that purpose was fulfilled, the season naturally reached its end. Growth always moves forward. Once a lesson becomes part of who you are, the same test no longer needs to repeat itself. The path ahead will hold new opportunities that require the strength you now possess. Some doors will open that once seemed permanently locked. Some relationships will grow stronger because your understanding has deepened, and some dreams that once felt distant will begin to move closer to reality. You may still feel cautious at times because of what you endured. That is natural. When someone walks through long periods of difficulty, the heart learns to move carefully. But slowly you will begin to see that the ground beneath your feet has changed. The season ahead will carry more stability and more light than the one behind you. Remember that your story is not defined by the pain you experienced. It is defined by the strength that rose within you during that pain. What once felt like a burden has now become a foundation. The lessons you gained will guide your decisions and protect your peace in ways you could not imagine before. There will come moments in the near future when you realize how far you have come. Something simple may happen that once would have overwhelmed you, yet you will respond with calm confidence. In that moment you will see the transformation clearly. You will recognize the quiet strength that has taken root inside your spirit. You are not walking into this new season alone. My presence remains with you, just as it was during every moment of the journey behind you. I walked beside you when the road was difficult, and I continue walking beside you now as new possibilities begin to appear. The same guidance that carried you through the storm will lead you into peace. Let your heart rest for a moment in the truth that this difficult chapter has truly closed. The strength you gained will never be taken away from you. What you learned will continue protecting and guiding you. And the endurance you developed will help you walk confidently into the future. There is a quiet dignity in the way you endured what you faced. You did not allow bitterness to take control of your spirit. You did not allow despair to silence your hope. Instead, you kept a small flame of faith alive, even during the darkest moments. That flame has now grown into a steady light that will guide your steps moving forward. The world around you may still move at its usual pace, but something inside you has shifted permanently. The person who once carried that heavy season is not the same person who stands here now. Your spirit has matured, your understanding has deepened, and your faith has become stronger than before. If you believe that a new chapter is truly opening in your life, comment 777. Continue walking forward with the quiet confidence that comes from experience. The valley behind you has already completed its purpose. What lies ahead is a road that reflects the strength and wisdom you now carry. Step into it with calm assurance, knowing that the season of endless struggle has passed and a new season of peace has begun. There were moments in the past when you wondered if your strength would run out. You carried responsibilities, disappointments, and unanswered prayers that stretched your heart to its limits. Yet you kept moving forward, when it would have been easier to stop. That choice mattered more than you realized. Every step you took through that valley proved that your faith was stronger than the fear trying to surround you. Many people misunderstand how transformation happens. They imagine growth arrives through comfort and easy victories, but the deepest growth happens during seasons that feel heavy and uncertain. The weight you carried forced you to discover parts of your spirit that would have remained hidden during easier days. Those hidden strengths are now part of who you are. If these words resonate with your spirit and you feel the quiet strength that has formed within you, comment 555. The struggles you endured also reshaped the way you see the world around you. Your heart has become more understanding toward others who are facing their own unseen battles. Pain has a way of creating compassion that cannot be learned in any other way. Because of what you experienced, your presence will bring comfort to people who feel alone in their difficulties. You may not realize it yet, but your journey will inspire others who are still walking through their own storms. When they see the calm strength you now carry, they will sense that healing and restoration are possible. Your story will quietly remind them that endurance can lead to transformation. This new chapter in your life is not about forgetting the past. It is about allowing the past to become a foundation instead of a burden. Every difficult moment you live through now holds wisdom that will guide your future decisions. The lessons you gained will protect your peace and help you recognize the paths that lead toward growth rather than struggle. In the season behind you, there were many times when it felt like progress was invisible. Days passed without clear signs that anything was improving. But beneath the surface, something powerful was unfolding. Just like seeds growing underground before they appear above the soil, your strength was forming quietly within you. Now those unseen roots have grown strong enough to support the life that is beginning to rise above the surface. What once felt like waiting was actually preparation. What once looked like delay was building the stability needed for what comes next. You will begin to notice small changes in the days ahead. Situations that once drained your energy will no longer hold the same power. Your mind will respond with greater calm, your heart will carry more patience, and your spirit will move with a confidence that was not present before. This transformation did not happen overnight. It formed slowly through every moment you chose faith instead of despair. Even during times when your belief felt fragile, you still held on. That persistence strengthened your connection to the purpose guiding your life. The end of this difficult chapter also opens the door to a deeper sense of peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on everything around you being perfect, but the kind that lives inside you regardless of external circumstances. That inner peace will become one of your greatest sources of strength. There will still be challenges in life, but they will not shake your spirit in the same way. You now understand that storms can pass and that strength grows during difficult seasons. That understanding will help you walk through future obstacles with greater clarity and confidence. You may also notice that certain opportunities begin appearing in places where nothing seemed possible before. When growth happens within you, it often changes the paths that open around you. Doors that once remained closed may begin to move because the person approaching them has changed. The wisdom you gained during the past season will help you recognize which opportunities are meant for you and which ones are distractions. Experience has sharpened your ability to listen to the quiet guidance that leads you forward. Your relationship with faith has also deepened. The struggles you faced forced you to rely on something greater than your own strength. That reliance created a stronger connection that will continue guiding you through every future season. You are not the same person who once stood at the beginning of that difficult road. Your spirit now carries a steadiness that comes from experience rather than theory. The lessons you learned are no longer ideas in your mind. They are truths that have been tested and proven in your life. Because of this transformation, the future will not look the same as the past. You are walking forward with a different level of understanding. Situations that once confused you will now appear clearer. Decisions that once felt overwhelming will now be made with calm confidence. There is also a new sense of gratitude forming inside your heart. When someone passes through long seasons of difficulty and finally reaches calm ground again, even the smallest moments of peace begin to feel precious. Simple days carry a quiet joy that once went unnoticed. This appreciation will help you protect your peace moving forward. You will become more aware of what truly matters and less concerned with things that once seemed urgent but held little real value. If you believe that your difficult season has truly ended and that a new chapter is unfolding in your life, comment 999. Continue walking forward with the quiet confidence that comes from everything you have survived. The strength inside you is real, the lessons you gained are lasting, and the peace now forming in your life will continue growing as you step further into the future prepared for you. You endured a chapter that asked more from you than you ever expected to give. There were moments when you wondered how much more strength could possibly remain inside you. Each time you reached that point, something deeper carried you forward. That strength did not come from your own ability alone. It came from the quiet connection between your spirit and the guidance that has always been present in your life. What you experienced was not wasted time. The waiting, the confusion, the silence, and the struggles were all shaping something important within you. Growth often takes place in hidden spaces where progress cannot be measured by visible success. During those unseen moments, your spirit was learning endurance, patience, and trust. Many people never discover the depth of strength that lives inside them because they avoid seasons that demand perseverance. You did not avoid that season, you walked through it step by step. Even when you felt uncertain, you continued moving forward. That persistence allowed the work inside you to reach completion. If you are receiving this truth in your heart and recognizing how far you have come, comment 1111. The completion of that difficult chapter also marks the beginning of a different kind of journey. Instead of surviving constant pressure, you will begin learning how to live with greater peace and clarity. This transition can feel unfamiliar at first because your spirit has spent so much time adapting to hardship. But slowly, you will realize that calm days are no longer temporary pauses between storms. There will be moments ahead when you suddenly notice that something that once troubled you no longer has the same effect. Situations that once created worry will now meet a calmer response. The difference will surprise you at first, but it is simply the evidence of how much you have grown. The person you have become carries a deeper understanding of life. You now know that difficult seasons can arrive without warning, but you also know that they do not last forever. This awareness brings a quiet strength that cannot be shaken easily. You have already faced challenges that seemed impossible at the time, and you survived them. Because of that experience, fear will have less control over your decisions moving forward. You will recognize that even if new obstacles appear, you possess the resilience needed to face them. That knowledge changes the way a person walks through life. Another important change is the way you will begin to see yourself. During the difficult season, it was easy to focus on what felt broken or unfinished in your life. Pain has a way of narrowing our vision until we can only see the problems surrounding us. But now that the storm has passed, your view will gradually widen. You will start noticing the strength that formed within you during those challenging days. You will see the patience you learned, the compassion you gained, and the wisdom that grew quietly in your heart. These qualities are not temporary improvements, they are lasting parts of who you are now. The end of this season also clears space for new blessings to enter your life. When hardship occupies every corner of the mind, it becomes difficult to recognize opportunities that appear nearby. But peace creates room for new ideas, new relationships, and new possibilities to grow. Some of these opportunities may appear small at first. They might look like simple conversations, unexpected invitations, or moments that spark new inspiration. Do not overlook them. Often, the most meaningful changes begin with quiet beginnings that slowly grow into something greater. Your patience during the past season has prepared you to recognize these moments with gratitude instead of rushing past them. You will begin appreciating progress even when it arrives one step at a time. This perspective allows blessings to unfold naturally without forcing them. The peace you are entering now will also strengthen your sense of direction. When life feels chaotic, it is difficult to hear the gentle guidance that points toward the right path. But calmness allows that guidance to become clearer. You will begin sensing which decisions align with the growth you have experienced and which ones lead back toward unnecessary struggle. This awareness will help you protect the stability that is forming around your life. Another important change will appear in the way you handle disappointment. Challenges may still arise from time to time, but they will no longer carry the same emotional weight. The trials you survived have already proven that difficult moments can pass. This understanding will help you respond with patience rather than panic. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by temporary problems, you will remember that strength and endurance already live within you. That confidence will guide your steps forward. There will also be moments when memories from the past season return to your mind. When that happens, do not allow regret or sadness to take control of your thoughts. Those memories are reminders of how far you have come. Each difficult moment you survived contributed to the strength you carry today. Without those experiences, the person you have become would not exist in the same way. The trials you faced were part of shaping the wisdom that now guides your life. Your story did not end in struggle. It continued through perseverance until transformation took place. That transformation is still unfolding, and the future will reveal even more of its meaning. If you are ready to step fully into the peace and strength that this new season offers, comment 1515. Walk forward with calm confidence, knowing that the chapter of endless struggle has truly reached its end. The lessons remain, the strength remains, and the faith that carried you through every difficult moment continues guiding you now. The road ahead may still hold surprises, but it will not hold the same kind of weight that you carried before. What lies ahead is shaped by the endurance you proved and the growth that formed within you. The change that has taken place within you may still feel quiet and almost invisible, but it is real and it is lasting. After long periods of struggle, the heart sometimes expects the next difficulty to appear at any moment. Your mind learned to stay alert because the season behind you required constant strength. Yet what you must understand now is that the battle that shaped you has truly reached its completion. You are standing in a place where the pressure that once surrounded you no longer has authority over your path. For a long time you carried burdens that seemed to stretch far beyond what you thought you could handle. The days sometimes felt long and heavy, and the nights often held thoughts that refused to settle. There were moments when you wondered if the challenges would ever release their grip on your life. But every time doubt whispered that the road would never change, something inside you continued to move forward. That quiet determination was never wasted. Each step you took during those difficult days was building something far stronger than you realized. Strength that forms through real experience becomes deeply rooted in the spirit. It cannot easily be shaken because it has already been tested by hardship. Many people only discover the depth of their faith when they are placed in situations that require them to rely on it completely. That is exactly what happened in your life. The trials you faced forced you to trust beyond what felt comfortable. You learned to continue believing even when circumstances did not immediately change. If you feel the truth of this transformation within you right now, comment 1717. Now that the season has ended, you may begin noticing something unusual. Your mind will slowly release the tension it held for so long. Thoughts that once circled endlessly around worry will begin to settle into calm understanding. The peace entering your life will feel unfamiliar at first, but it will grow stronger with time. This peace is not simply the absence of problems. It is the presence of deeper confidence that comes from surviving what once seemed impossible. Your spirit now carries proof that endurance leads to growth. That knowledge will remain with you long after the memories of the struggle begin to fade. Another change that will gradually appear is clarity. During difficult seasons, it can feel as though everything is clouded with confusion. Decisions seem harder to make, and the future looks uncertain. But once the storm passes, the path ahead often becomes clearer than before. You will start recognizing opportunities that were hidden while the struggle surrounded you. Some of these opportunities may come through unexpected directions. They may appear in conversations, new ideas, or moments that inspire you to move towards something meaningful. Do not rush these moments.